Let me guess. You work hard, you stay late, you even volunteer for extra tasks, but someone else gets promoted again. You're not missing a skill. You're missing a strategy for people. And until you learn to decode personalities and navigate office politics, your performance will always come second to perception. This video is not about manipulation. It's about mastering workplace relationships through timeless principles. And no book does this better than Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Step 1, seek first to understand, then to be understood. That is Covey habit number 5. Why does this matter in the workplace? It is a game changer. Most people at work walk around trying to prove themselves. They don't realize that they are stepping on toes, triggering egos, or annoying power players, not because of what they said, but because of how they fail to read the room. If you want to stand out in your workplace, your first job is to become a people detective. Learn how others think, what they fear, how they make decisions. Some examples: your boss gives you vague feedback. They may value independence more than clarity. Your coworker keeps interrupting. They may be trying to assert dominance, not to disrespect you. Your teammate avoids conflict. They may need private reassurance before public alignment. This habit is about listening with the intent to learn, not just to respond. Most people skip this, don't. FAQ, but I already listened. What else should I do? Try repeating back what you hear in your own words. Ask follow-up questions that go beyond tasks and into motivations. Why do they care about this? What are they really trying to protect or control? Action step: pick one meeting this week. Your goal isn't to speak, it's to study. Take notes, not on content, but on communication styles. Then reflect. Who was trying to assert control, gain validation, or play peacekeeper? Step 2, begin with the end in mind. Power mapping. This is Covey habit number 2. Begin with the end in mind. Why this habit matters for promotions. If you want to get promoted, you need to act like the person already at the next level. That means knowing who holds power and how to align strategically. Power in the workplace isn't just title-based. It's perceived influence. So how do you get ahead? You create what I call a power map, a Covey-aligned tool for identifying influencers. Those are people others look to. Gatekeepers, those are people who control access. Saboteurs, those are people who feel threatened by your growth. And allies are those who will advocate for you when you're not in the room. So the real application: if your department manager listens more to the executive assistant than the director, that assistant is a gatekeeper. If your peer keeps shooting down your ideas in front of leadership, that's a potential saboteur. Begin with the end in mind means knowing where you want to go and who can help or block you from getting there. FAQ, what if I don't know who the influencers are? Look at whose ideas get picked up most often. Who do others defer to when the room gets tense? Who do people try to impress? What if I don't want to play politics? You don't have to play dirty. You have to play smart. Power is happening around you, whether you engage or not. Why not learn the rules? Action step: download the free Power Map Guide linked in the description. Spend 10 minutes mapping your top 10 workplace connections. What role do they play in your ecosystem? Step 3, sharpen the saw. Upgrade your emotional strategy. That's Covey habit number 7, sharpen the saw. Why this matters? This habit prevents burnout. If you're constantly misunderstood, shut down, or left out of opportunities, your confidence suffers. That's when resentment builds. That's when burnout creeps in. Covey's 7th habit reminds us that we must renew ourselves regularly, not just physically, but emotionally and socially. You can't afford to keep winging it With difficult people, you need tools. So here's where I come in. I've been the dependable one, the overqualified but invisible one. I've served in the Army, taught in New York City public schools, worked in real estate, and coached PhDs. And in every space, I saw this. The most technically skilled person does not always rise. The most emotionally strategic one does. Learning how to manage emotions, your own and others, is your promotion insurance policy. For example, when I was younger, I took everything personally. A supervisor's short reply, I spiraled. A teammate's passive aggression, I snapped. Now I sharpen my saw. I track my emotional triggers. I prepare scripts. I practice my poker face, not to be fake, but to stay focused. Here's an FAQ. What if I can't fake confidence? You don't need to fake it. You need to train it. Confidence isn't a mood, it's a muscle. What's one thing I can do today to sharpen the saw? Set aside 10 minutes after your next stressful interaction. Journal what happened, what triggered you, and how you want to respond differently next time. How mental strategy is built. So action step, choose one draining relationship at work. Write down what they usually do, how you usually react, what COVID-based strategy you will try next time. Listen first, for example, ask questions, align before asserting. Here's a bonus point number 1. Put first things first. Manage energy, not just time. Coverly habit number 3, put first things first. This habit isn't just about time management, it's about priority clarity. And in the workplace, the biggest mistake I see mid-level professionals make is this. We prioritize doing tasks over building relationships. You spend all day checking boxes and staying productive, but you neglect the people who hold the keys to your next opportunity. You'll never get promoted by staying in your inbox. You must carve out energy, not just time, for the people, meetings, and check-ins that matter. Here's a real application. Block time weekly for strategic visibility. Coffee with an ally, a quick update to a decision maker, a collaborative conversation that builds influence. Don't wait until the review cycle. Stay present in the minds of power players before the conversation starts. Here's an action step. Audit your past week. How much of your energy went towards managing up or sideways, not just down? What can you shift this week to put relationship building first? Bonus point number 2, be proactive. Stop waiting for recognition. That's Covey habit number 1, be proactive. Let's be real. A lot of us sit around hoping someone will finally notice us, that our work will speak for itself, that one day the right person will say, you deserve more. That's not coming. Not unless you claim the narrative. Being proactive isn't just about being more. It's about owning your story and shaping your reputation on purpose. That might mean volunteering to lead a project even when you're unsure. Sharing wins with your manager even when it feels uncomfortable. Asking for feedback and using it to grow, not spiral. Real application. In my own career, I waited years for someone to see me. Promotions went to louder people with less experience. Once I flipped the script, built advocates, and became proactive in how I showed up, that's when things changed. Action step. Identify one thing you're waiting on, a raise, feedback, visibility, and draft one bold move you'll make this week to initiate it yourself. Bonus point number 3, understand why someone might sabotage you. This is inspired by habit number 4 from Stephen Covey, think win-win. Let's talk about something we don't like to admit happens in professional settings, sabotage. Yes, some people will try to quietly block your growth, but here's the Covey truth that helps us remember not everyone operates from a win-win mindset. Some people live in a scarcity mindset. They believe your success means less for them. Why would someone sabotage you? You're outperforming them and making them feel insecure. They see you rising faster and worry you'll become their boss. They're territorial and you're treading on their domain. They feel overlooked and your shining light they think should be on them. This is the real example. A coworker who subtly rewrites your emails or delays your messages being passed along, a peer who excludes you from meetings, then says, "Oh, I thought you were already invited." A teammate who brings up your past mistakes right before your performance review. Sometimes sabotage is loud, but most of the time it's quiet, passive aggressive, and political. And if you don't understand why it's happening or what to do about it, it can slowly erode your confidence and opportunities. So here's my teaser. In my next video, I am breaking this down, how to spot a workplace saboteur and handle them without losing your cool. I'll show you how to protect yourself, build quiet alliances, and respond strategically without ever stooping to their level. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. My final thought, you're not behind because you lack talent. You're behind because you haven't been trained in how to manage people, perception, and power. Stephen Covey gave us the habits. I've lived the consequences of ignoring them. If you want to rise, you need more than skills. You need strategy. My call to action, like if you ever thought, why am I still stuck here? Subscribe for more weekly strategies to master people, promotions, and presence, and download your free Power Map guide, the link is below, to take immediate strategic action towards influence and upward mobility. You're not invisible, you're just under leveraged. Let's fix that together.